Welcome to Knox Sports Cards, world's greatest non-sports content creator. Luke, Leia, Spider-Man, Harry Potter, Darth Vader. Collect what you like, they say, oy vey, your cards are crap. Grading is a scam. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. It's your jam. Not sports cards is the best, the best. Not sports cards is the worst. PS, a soul that glows. Absolutely. World's greatest non-sports content creator. Luke, Leia, Spider-Man, Harry Potter, Darth Vader. Now, before we start the show, whoa, 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 hit play and away we go.
That's right. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good Zinta, good y'all, whatever it may be where you are. I'm not Sports Cards. It's been a while. I think 3 weeks to be exact since I checked in with y'all. Hope you're doing well. Happy Memorial Day weekend. I'm here with Albert. Got half a cigar. I'm going to talk about some card things, right? So I want to talk about some things that I've been buying. What's up, Fat Lemon Pie? Congrats on your Ray poll. I'm going to be talking about some things that I've been buying, selling, what I'm seeing in the marketplace, general shit that's bothering me, positives, negatives, whatever. All right. Let's start with I want to start with what I've been buying. All right. So I want to start with a particular story that happened last weekend to me. And normally I would get all bent out of shape about this and go a little wild. So again, it's not that big a deal. Here we go. We're over here on the eBay screen. What do we got here? So I saw this pop up. This is a lot of, not a lot, but a lot, 11 cards. I collect MCU. This is from Avengers Age of Ultron 2015. And it popped up for $99. These cards are out of 10. They're very hard to find. You have a whole bunch of Wanda Maximoffs. I collect Black Widow, but Wanda is pretty popular as well. So I immediately bought it, right? These cards are, I don't know. Depends on whether, are you buying or are you selling? If I'm buying, they're probably about $30 a card, 30, depending on the card. They range. 30 to $40 a card, they're listed for 100 to 400 a card. So I thought it was a pretty good score to get 11 of these for $100. And, it went by. I was actually considering making a bigger purchase at the time. And I decided against it because I found these and I basically, instead of buying a big card, I got, a bunch of expensive cards for $100. And I went into the Discord and started bragging. About 10 minutes after I bought it. And then I didn't even want to post the picture of it because I didn't want to jinx it. And then I went ahead and posted the picture. Not 2 minutes later, the person canceled the order. So you can see another pattern foil up here for $500. They canceled the order and said that my address was wrong. And I was a bit aggravated that they canceled the order. I mean, shit happens, right? But and I wrote them. I said, hey, can you explain to me why you canceled the order? They never respond. The next day, it's relisted for $800, and I mean now it's down to 600. So they relisted it for 800, and I was like, hey, can you at least acknowledge the fact that it was a mistake or whatever it was? They have this weird avatar, which led me to believe they don't have a lot of sales. I really just cut them some slack, which, I'm not known to do, but I did. And I said to them, just, hey, we all make mistakes. And they said, yeah, we listed at a different price. And I'm like, they made me an offer. And I said, I offered them 300. I was like, hey, $30, around $30 a card. And they said no. And they offered it for, at the time they had it listed, they offered it for $6. And I said, hey, I only want 3 of these cards. Would you do 3 for whatever? And they kept coming down. I mean, where we stand now is that I'm pretty sure they would take my $300 offer, but I'm not going to buy it. So, yeah, that was a story of things that happened. It's been so eBay has been a bit of a disaster for a lot of reasons lately. I mean, you have things like that, which is, whatever. Like, again, I said, listen, we all make mistakes. I'm not always like, I'm not dying to buy something from somebody that's worth, $1,000 for $100. I'm not trying to get something over on somebody. Hey, if they don't care, there's, it's always about what somebody gets into it, blah, 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 all that stuff. So again, forgive, forget, whatever. But I just couldn't see what you call it, paying full price, like you get emotionally involved. So what else have I been buying? Here's a Captain America Silver. I bought a 2 tubes auto. I bought this Phantom Avenger Batman PSA 9. What did I pay for it? I paid $6. Sold it yesterday for 30. I bought it one of those hybrid of like, hey, I'll keep it in my collection, I'll sell it. I was happy to whatever move on. I bought these cards. I'm not sure if I bought these. No, I hadn't the last time I did a show. So these are pretty. These are Last Jedi cards. They're serial numbered out of 99, and Fat Lemon Pie just hit a foil Rey out of Force Awakens, which is a card I want. I want the gold, but there's also foil. But considering I can't get those cards, I got a Kylo and a Luke. So short story on this Luke, which is, it is the first movie card of his that's serial numbered. There are no serial number cards for the first 6 movies. The 7th movie he was not in. This is the 8th movie. This is the first card he was in. So this is kind of, that's the story behind it. I wanted it. I had bid a lot more than $5 because there was a Rey one of these up for sale 2 months ago, and I bid way too low and somebody picked that off. But again, was happy to have this. I think it's a cool card. Gonna go to PSA, and it's gonna get graded and listed for sale. I guess I bought some SGC stuff. So we can talk. I'm going to talk about the 77 Star Wars market for. I'll do that after I'll blaze through what else I bought. No. All right, so I bought these cards. These are probably my favorite Rebel cards of all. This is a Topps On Demand 2017. These are purple out of 25. I got Ezra and Chopper, $25, $35. Very difficult to find. Very difficult to find. And in person, they're my favorite. I like them better than the original Rebel set. I'm not a big on-demand guy, but this is kind of before the boom. So I think there were only like 450 of these printed, and they didn't make Rebel sets around those times. The only Rebel set that was ever made was from the original series. Ezra's a lot younger, and the purple actually pops. So I'm into it. I dig it. I bought some Avengers cards. I bought some movies. I bought Pitfall. We'll get into this later. I bought a couple of gold Rogue One cards. I bought Bistan, the Buddy Bistan. I bought Bodhi Rook. Amazing prices. You don't see character cards for these prices. We'll get to that later. Somebody I know got just an amazing deal, which aggravated me. But I'll before I get into that stuff, I'm not going to stay on too long. I really wanted to record this, but I don't even think I have whatever system. I don't even remember the name of the system that I used to use for years to record. So I don't even want to do it live, but I just wanted to talk for a bit. Anyway, so that's what I've been buying. I bought a bunch of other stuff on ComC. I don't want to say a bunch, but the part of the reason I didn't want to pay up for those Marvel cards after I got them cheaper and they changed the price. But as I was looking through to try to give them comparisons to be like, hey, I'm the only person buying these cards. So, doesn't matter what people are listing them for. Nobody else is buying them. I came across some 101s that had sold. You know what? I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. Just say I came across some 101s that had sold for crazy low prices, and they had escaped my searches. And I happened to pick up a 101 on ComC for crazy low prices of Black Panther and his father. So, all's well that ends well. That again, when I can buy one-on-ones for around the price that I was going to pay for 10 tens or out of tens, we're going to do that. All right. Okay. All right. So 1977 Star Wars PSA. Okay. All right. So let's go to the latest. So what have I been seeing? Overall, what I've noticed in the card market, kind of everywhere, is that here's some Return of the Jedi. I don't know why it's. I'm going to go sideways in a second. The 77 Star Wars card market, Series 1 is doing very well, the blue. And in PSA 8 and 7, they are almost at all-time high, not all-time highs. They're probably close to the highs for the last couple of years, especially for commons. It's they're apparently a lot more set collectors than there have ever been. I'm trying to get this. That's not what I want. I'll go back to this one here. There are a lot of set collectors. So a lot of the PSA 8 commons, which for a time, about a year ago, they were auctioning for low 20s at times. What the fuck is going on here? Oh, I have an extra 7 in here. That's the problem. There have been a shit ton of Vaders. So, okay. I'm all over the map because I don't talk that often. Got a lot to say, but short period of time. So some of the bigger cards, like this card in particular, there have been way more Vaders on the market. And this at a time was selling for very often, was clearly over 200 and closer to 400. And lately they've been selling for around 150. That's a good price for this card. They are as hard to grade as the Lukes, and a Luke 8 goes for 1,000. So here's a Luke 6. They've been pretty strong, but it's really the common cards that have been, like this is an 8. It's crazy. There's not a ton for sale. And when you see it, like here are some 8s, 20, 50, whatever. Let's just go to sold. Here's an 8.5. Blue Harvest. I'll just always bid up on an 8. I think 8.5s are a bit of a cheat code right now because they almost all of them look as good as 9s. It's like it's so super rare that you don't see them. We're going to go to sold listings for a second. You can see here, this is a pretty cool card for $63. You've got a Tarkin at $125. Again, a common card, $73. These are very strong. PSA 9 on this card, $249. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go too crazy with this stuff. I do think some people are starting to get stuff back from PSA's special that was in December, and some people have stuff stuck there. But yeah, you can see these 6s. It's weird. 6s kind of, as you all know, auctioning off these cards is sometimes difficult. It's been working for PSA 8 common cards. Here's a great card. I actually sold my copy of these recently, and I was bidding to buy another one. And I bid way too low. That's a UK card. You'll see a lot of people just snapping up, just like paying up for cards. I'm just trying to whip through here. Here's a PSA 9 Leia that went for $670, which is not super low. It's buy it now $1,000 card. Well, here's an R2-8. That's slow. I mean, low. Those get snapped up. But the other series, so like series 2, 3, 4, and 5, really they don't command that much. And unless they're super rare, there's a R2 and C3PO rookie 162. That's super low. Also, not the lowest we've seen, but definitely low. PSA 7, here's one of those PSA 8 Vaders. I actually lost this PSA 7 Luke. I was $295, one for $300. It was a nice looking, super sharp corners. Here's one of these and an 8, $91. 40, 65. I was trying to get to a couple auctions from a week or two ago where people were paying like up to 9, and I know they weren't shilled. I know they weren't shilled because I know the person who was selling the cards, and I was going to send in my best 10 to PSA month for their special. Hey, give it a shot. I will tell you that I was looking at some cards to send, and I wanted to look at some that I have in holders to see what they look like. I'm telling you, I don't know about the newer ones. I don't have a ton of newer slabs. Like, I mean, the last year, but anything prior to the last year, every one of them has tipped corners. I don't care about 9s or 8s or whatever. So, like, it's so hard for me to say. I have no ability to guess what grade. Here's like a Leia PSA 7, $75. That's a crazy price. Yeah, I mean, the 6s and stuff don't really go for a lot. I mean, this is I don't know what this actually sold for, but a PSA 8 in this card is not that much. Here's a PSA. Here's some PSA 9s. That one from 125. Again, this is one of the people I know. So the PSA 9s were actually selling for around like the PSA 8s. Like, look at this. Here are some of the PSA 8s I was talking about. Like 73.80, 102.50 for a PSA 8. That's insane. That is since March of 2021. That's about as high as you would have seen those cards. Again, a lot of 8ers out there. I don't know. I can tell you, I think I'll raid my Leia. I have a few others that aren't big cards, but hopefully, anything you get over an 8, if you get an 8 in a Series 1, you're going to do fine. I actually think if you get a 7 in Series 1, unless you want to try to sell it raw, I mean, I don't really put a lot of stock in the value of raw 77 cards because I have so many that look beautiful and get 4s that it's hard if you can't see it in person to buy it. But yeah, so I mean, I think I wouldn't touch anything other than Series 1. If it's for your PC, then you do whatever you want, right? Like I'm all over the map on what to do for your PC. So here was an 8 that sold for, this is my bellwether card, sold for $8.50. Buy it now. Another one auction for around that price. There was an 8.5 that was up for sale. Yeah, I mean, here's an 8 that auction, sold for $9.69. Hamill just announced he's doing another signing, and that signing might buoy up that card. This is a card here. So this Leia PSA 10, which is new. I'm not sure if I mentioned this the last show I did, but so it got 5,600, which is super low for this card. It's super duper low. It's a little off center, but in the history of grading these cards, there were up until this year, there were 12 PSA 10 Leias, and then we got 2 more this year. I don't know. I mean, it's statistically improbable, but not impossible. I am very concerned about this, the card cleaning and stuff. And there are people say, oh, well, it doesn't work on vintage cards. That is not what I'm hearing. Like, I'm hearing some of the vintage cards or some of the better stuff. And it's like, well, you can't fix corners. And like, I have some super sharp, like I sold a Leia PSA 7 that looks like this card. And I can't tell you, like, I mean, by the way, I can't tell if this is tipped down here or not. I mean, but you can see whatever. These cards are just too hard. I mean, it's just the difference between a 9 and a 10 is very imperceivable. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I do think that almost every 9 that I've seen has a tipped corner. So, which would in a modern card would somehow get you an 8. But in these, it gets you a 9. Yeah, so that was a weird sale. I mean, you have this other PSA 10, which is it's really just a set collector. This going for 2,500. I think the pop is 8 on this. But the idea that even at 8, this is 14, and it's fucking Princess Leia. I think I forget what my bid was, but I had lost something else that night that pissed me off. I don't remember what it was. It might even be that I might have had the issue with that those Marvel cards that day, and I bid like 5,300, and I can't see. Uh, yeah, yeah, it's in. Yeah, the Hamels is going to keep signing people. Like listen, that doesn't mean that, who knows the real demand for Hamels autos. But yeah, I'm worried on the high end of the stuff of the card cleaning, and we'll see. It's just been a lot of kind of cards you didn't see out there in high grades, like the number of Vader 8s and 9s that have come out, and those two Leia 10s. Hey, you never know. Somebody can open a box. There's shit that can happen. Like I said, improbable, not impossible. And in the situation where we do have, I keep clicking different boxes, where we do have this new card cleaning issue, then yeah, you get to make up your own mind and see what you're thinking. But like, I mentioned earlier that look, 550 for a PSA 6 R2, and like if you're below a 7, it's like almost valueless. It just makes it hard for me to want to fire this up, like I want to grade anything. Here's some more 8s going at nice prices. I'm at a fucking PSA 7 of this card. Like the right cards sell, the wrong cards don't. And yeah. And here's a PSA 9, just graded Vader, right? Like, whatever. I'm just not gonna be like, this doesn't have a lot of, I thought I saw a lot of them had ink stains. This one is just clearly angle cut. And whatever. I mean, it's outside of that. I just like, I don't know what PSA. I have cards that look like this, they've given 7s. So, sure. You notice how this is like, you can't really zoom in on this card. Just the way it is. Here are the Hamels. So this is a card that I bid on. I think I bid like around 1,100. This is a really nice little. So this is an 8.5, Luke. If you had told me this was a 9, I would be with it all day. I think this was a great buy. So, sorry, my cigar. Let's see, what else do we have here? So one of the other things that's been really bothering me about eBay is, let me see here. Can I go to my save searches? So I have a bunch of save searches, right? You can see them all. It doesn't really do it on here. I do most of my perusing in either an iPad or an iPhone, and it'll show you how many new ones there are. Like if there are new ones in here, it'll say 5 new ones, and then you'll click in here and there won't be any new ones. And you're like, wait, well, why are you telling me they're new searches if they aren't? And then cards don't show up that you have saved in every perceivable way. Or you can just miss them. Let me see here. I just, with Rogue One, I've tried to be, because Rogue One's the main thing that I like, PC or whatever the hell you want to call it. Yeah, I got Albert. What's up? Albert is right underneath me. Albert is refused to poop for 2 days. That's just my guy. He just like wants to be Albert. Last night took him out for a walk, and damn it, the fireworks didn't go off. I'm all over the place. So I've also decided to go back to Godfather offers here of this is my card. This is here, let me switch to this view. This is my Jyn Rebel Hero. I listed for 5,000. I don't think it's a $5,000 card anyway, but hey, they're none other listed. So until, part of my idea is like, let's scare some out. If you list it high enough, somebody will be like, I have that card. I'll list it for $500 or 1,000 or whatever. Doesn't work that way. So again, so I think it was yesterday. I see in our Discord that I'm still very unhappy about this. Very, very unhappy about what I'm about to show you. There's like some vomit in my mouth. Okay. All right, here are the couple cards I bought. Here's a Saw that somebody bought, a gray out of 100. These are all just cards that just aren't for fucking sale. There was a Jyn for $50, right? That's a nice gin. I mean, that's like a good price for the gin. It's not a, it's a good price. You know, you don't see them for sale. Here's where I want to commit Harry Carey. So, if anybody knows me, knows what I collect, that is a Cassian Andor gold card. Never, first one ever for sale, ever. Two have been for sale. They were in sets. I bought one. My buddy Peter bought one, and Peter put it up in chat that he showed this $49. So this is like, I had that Marvel situation where I bought the cards for way lower than they were, and the person canceled it. Oh, by the way, I didn't know who bought it at the time. I sent the person saying, hey, if something happens or you got another one of these, I'll pay you $250. They're like, no, they were just sitting in a shoebox. And that's why you see these prices get progressively higher because of this. This is, I don't know what the price of this card, because we've never seen one auctioned. The set that went up for sale sold in, maybe 30 minutes. And the set was $2,000. I mean, it included a gin and, obviously all the cards, but we've never seen this card at $50. So a buddy of mine got this card, and he's a super nice guy, and I can't hate on that. It's just like, I'm missing, like, Cassian's my, this is my favorite card. That is my favorite card. Watch me. I won't sell mine. And I can see it from here. It's one of the only handful of cards I have displayed, but man, I don't, does he have the back? Yeah, I don't even know what the number, for all we know, it could, it's 24 out of 50, which, 24. That's the day Albert was born on. Motherfucker. WQ, if you get a 9 on this card, you've got to sell. We've got to trade. So my buddy WQ Will bought this. So knowing that it's number 24, I don't even care about the show right now. If you get a PSA 9 on this, we're going to make a deal, because the other card is an 8 and the serial number is 12. Russell was born, my dog passed away December 8th. So I collect cards that are 128. I didn't even know that when I bought this card, but this is 24. Albert was born on the 24th. So if this comes, I hope it comes back an 8 or a 10, just not a 9. Because if it's a 9, we got to fucking do some dealing here, because we just got to do some dealing. I don't know what I'm going to have to get up to get it. I didn't know. Now that I'm seeing it's number 24, I just want to. This is a card that if I got a 10 on, I would send back to try to get a 9. That's how insane I am. So, listen. That's the world we live in. That is the world we live in, where somebody can just fire up a card. The guy had it in a shoebox, puts it up there, thinks $50 is the right price. It's gone. I don't know how long it was up there. I was busy yesterday. I don't have phone alerts or any shit set like that. So I probably should have. But man, there are only 50 of these in the world. I know where 3 of them are now. It's, again, Cassian's true rookie card, where there is a 101. No, but nobody has ever seen it, or it's never been graded. So bummer. That's just the way it goes, man. That's just the way it goes, right? Like, just like those 101s that I saw with the Marvel. I saw Black Widow, some 101 with Black Widow in it, which was Black Widow and Tony Stark, and it sold for $50. And that's nothing compared to this makes me want to quit the fucking hobby. This card. Because it's just my favorite card. But the other side of this is like, so forever I'm looking for Saw Gerrera and Jin, because the set I bought didn't have Saw and Jin, and I've been after them for a long time. If this had been Jin, I think I'm not so sure it would have been worse, right? If it had been either of those cards, it would be worse in my mind. But whatever. Let's see. What else do I want to talk about? So eBay is a fucking nightmare right now with the save searches. Like, they're just not doing it properly. I had that issue when I bought some 101s, some Rogue One 101s, where they just wouldn't show up in searches. I don't know if they're doing it on purpose to make you like look at more. I don't know what's going on, but there's clearly been a problem. There was a PSA 9, 1977, number 63, may the force be with you, up for auction. It was from 4 Sharp Corners. I literally couldn't get it up there. I mean, I like was starting to try to type I had a link somebody sent me, but I couldn't get it to show up. eBay's a fucking disaster. Here, I gotta do something else. There, I saw this too. You want another kick in the nuts? Here's another just kick in the nuts. A BBCE Series 1 box sold for $4,000. Get the fuck out of here. I mean, by the way, it's been months. It's been almost 3 months now. $4,000 BBC. Those are, I don't think I've ever seen one sell for under 7,500. I don't know if I've actually seen that, right? They're usually like 10. Like 10's the number. And you don't see them that, you know, it's a little weird because I've tried to click on this and you can't go to the page. It's a little weird, right? It's so, there might be, that might not be real. It might not be. It's a weird picture. There's a lot of other stuff. I mean, here's a BBCE Series 1 box listed for $13,500. It's one for $14,500. Yeah, I mean, again, 10. There's a big. That's adding a digit in front of that sale. That's a crazy fucking number, right? So, it is what it is. I don't even, you know, I didn't even know about it until somebody, my buddy JB has let me know about it. Yeah, that's, this one, I don't save the search. I'm not looking for one of these things, but, yeah, that's just way lower than you would expect. But in general, overall, I am seeing a lot of the high end of the hobby is struggling mightily. Certainly anything over 1,000, but like the lower you go, the healthier it is. And that's not crazy, but my simple theory on that is that like people want to keep collecting. They don't necessarily want to buy 600, 700, 800, 1,000 cards. And if they do, they want a great deal. Like that Leia at 5,300. I know I already regret not buying that. If I thought it was going to go for that price, I would have bought it. I would have bought it. Like, I mean, we don't know what the actual high number on the person who bought it is, but if it was a buy it now for that price, I'd buy it now, right now. I just would move some whatever. I don't really have to move shit around. I just would buy it. Like, it's just, that's a crazy thing. I do want to point out that I bought a couple of things here. I bought a copy of Pitfall in, you know, the box with the manual. I haven't gotten it yet, so yeah, that's weird because it says free 2 to 3 day shipping, and I bought it a while ago, so I don't know where the fuck. I got to check on that in a second. So maybe I'm not getting this, but I thought like this was. I have very strong memories of this game. Getting it, whatever. It has like a price tag on here. I want the box. The box is a little run down, but you don't find a lot of these with the boxes. Yeah. So okay. So it's supposed to be here. Free 2 day. Okay. So yeah, I'm supposed to get it. Anyway, I bought some movies. I'm just messing around in these other categories. I bought these movies. It was like $4. But I really bought it for the Goonies. You know, got Independence Day and whatever, a bunch of other bullshit, Men in Black. I really don't care. They're going to go on my shelf. It's funny. Somebody sent me a link to Heritage where they had just sold a copy of Goonies in a sealed one, $85,000. I'm like, what? I'm like, what did I? Maybe I found something cool. But either way, $10 including shipping to throw some stuff on the shelf. I'm just seeing. I'm just poking around to see if I want to mess around in that stuff. Here, yeah. I'm just. I need to get those gold cards off my screen because it pisses me off so much. 2024 Star Wars. Can I spell? No, I can't. Apparently, I can't spell Star Wars Sapphire. Can I get it here? just want to point this out. Like, so I'm not really tapped into like what is going to be the next release. I don't rip stuff. But this is it's another loser from Tops, right? This Phantom Menace thing. So I think they still are $300 on their site. I think the Montgomery Club could get them around 270. I don't know if that included free shipping. Here they are. I saw one on, I don't know if it was real because I saw them for like 149 or something. It was crazy low. It might have been suspect, but we'll look at sold listings here to see if we have anything. I hate 299, 270, 275, 269, a one pack. This is the stuff where it's like, you just can't get past this fucking asshole selling character breaks. This is all right. I'm done looking at this shit because this motherfucker here. Yeah, I'm cursing. I apologize. I hope I'm not hurting your ears. But yeah, this is it's another loser. I don't know if Tops has put out any Star Wars that has gone up in value since what? Galaxy Chrome, or maybe like 2022. I guess 2022 Star Wars Sapphire is theoretically up in. I think they were retailing at 200, and you can buy them now at 240. And they went up to 1,000. Here's 230. So basically, in sports, a lot of times, you get boxes and they appreciate in value over time. There's nothing that is appreciating. Galaxy Chrome, like the 2020 Galaxy Chrome or something, that's it, man. And the other part is they have not released a real product since, because I don't count Masterwork as a real product. It is a real product, but like it's really a auto heavy product, and it's just not like cards since Finest, and that's like October of last year. I don't know what the hell's going on with Tops and Star Wars this year. I really don't. Fanatics, whatever. But if you put out shitty product, people aren't going to buy it, and I think a lot of breakers are going to get stuck with the Phantom Menace, and the cards aren't selling very well. I mean, the Return of the Jedis are like 50% of what the retail value was. I mean, it's just a disaster. That plays into, like, I do think we continue to see this like wheat and chaff of like people want good cards, like really good cards, and the average cards are just meandering. They just are like there's too much out of 25, out of 50, out of whatever. They're just are, and they just are not moving, and that's just the way it is. So be careful if buy whatever the hell you want. Here. Yeah, I'm having a hard time seeing the chat, but yeah, I mean, buy whatever the hell you want, but just know in general that like a lot of this new shit is in trouble. Yeah, I don't know the difference between. I think I might be mixing up 2021 and 2020 Galaxy Chrome. Whatever the first Galaxy Chrome. That's the only box that is appreciated in value. Like hell, like you can go by like 2018 Finest. There's some stuff as you get older, but not in the last couple of years. It's just an absolute shit show. They put out 10 products last year, and we have one so far. We're headed towards halfway through the year, and the one product is a garbage Phantom Menace thing. I really don't know what they're doing, but that's just the way it goes. Can I go into my account here? So let's see here. Oh man, fuck you. They're gonna make me what you call it. Like, I swear if they make me do the like, oh, you know what? I might even have it. Let's see. I can do my authentication. Oh, shit. I don't know why I'm doing this on screen, but whatever. I have an order sitting at PSA that I sent in a little over a month ago, and it is in assembly, right? So, they have it at listed at going to be back to me in 2 months from now, but I would expect to get it sooner. Man, I was very high on a lot of these cars when I sent them in. I'm not so high on them now. I'm not like, I'm pretty sure it's going to increase the value. I just have no idea. 79 cards, the number of tens. Originally, I think I wanted like a 20 to 30% 10 rate. I don't know. I think it could be as low as 10%. These are all, pretty rare cards for the most part. Or entries like these Batman cards and these could be 5s or 10s. I just don't know how they grade this shit. We'll figure it out. But I got my Bodhi Rook there. Yeah, we'll see. So they seem to be chugging along and doing stuff, and I've seen some people get some grades back. They seem kind of polarized for the most part. Of what I see in grades is like people are getting the 5s and the 10s. They're not getting 7s and 8s a lot, right? They're getting. I don't know, like a friend of mine graded a bunch of Simpson stickers, which you never see 10s on, and he got a bunch of 10s. I don't say never see them, but it's not that easy. And I saw a lot of stickers they've been grading better. Maybe they're changing the way they grade stickers. Oh yeah, the FPI with fake slabs, like that's a fucking thing. They're like, listening to the idiots out there talk like, oh yeah, these are kind of some of them older slabs, and everybody knows they're suspect. Like, what do you think is going to happen going forward? Like this is the way it works. Is that as time marches on, the older technology becomes easier to counterfeit. That's how it works. It's how it's worked forever. It's like, hey, if I wanted to go make a fake driver's license from 1999, I could probably do it, right? But you can't. I can't make one from 2024. And like, that's what we're going to continue to see happen. All right. What else do I want to cover? I really, like I said, didn't get on here to be on here that long, just to show my face, say hello, cry about not getting that Cassian gold, complain about the person who did not, who canceled my sale. Again, whatever. That trust me, that aches me far less than losing a Cassian gold. Thank God, like I said, thank God it went to somebody I know who's a good guy. There are people I know that would have done so many victory laps I would have quit collecting. But yeah, I don't know what else I have to say. Am I bidding on anything of interest? No. Like I have a bunch of these 77 cards that I'm not gonna win, that I just throw stuff in here. Yeah, I don't do, I just don't have that much to say about the hobby. I wish I did. Wish I had more stuff to say. It's just kind of like, it is what it is right now, especially with no new cards, no new Star Wars shows. We got whatever coming up, the Acolyte, but has nothing to do with anything before. No movies. I just watched the movie Civil War, which was, I thought, very good for the first hour and 10 minutes, and it was like just a different movie. But yeah, there's not really much to talk about. I'd love to come and talk about just what I watch on TV, because that's more interesting to me. We do have the House of Dragon season 2 coming up. I've been trying to stomach my way through rewatching season 1, and I do not like that show. I don't. Here's some Rey cards I'm bidding on. I do think Rey is going to go a little ballistic in sometime in the next year or two. Yeah, I am not bullish on the hobby, right? Like, I'm bullish on the hobby, like people continuing to collect, but like, man, like I do think the economy is really finally catching up to people. that like I mentioned this before, is that you kind of cycle through it, and it's like we start with $1, and the next month we have 90 cents, and the month after that we have 80 cents because we pay fees and we pay grading, and then it just takes our dollar and makes it less and less and less. And then as people put less fresh dollars into the marketplace, it hurts. And you have summer now, and people just would rather do fun things. I've been at the beach like 3 days this week, and but I love my cards. I love hunting for cards. That's what I tell you, is like that. I love hunting for cards more than the cards, for sure. Like the hunt, the hunt is everything to me, and that's why like getting beaten out on the hunt is very difficult. When it's like one of your number one cards, which by the way, I probably should throw some more stuff out there. COMC is a different beast. I think that a lot of stuff gets listed on COMC that does not make it to eBay. I think that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I sold a bunch of cards, like a lot of like mid-level 50 to $150 cards that I was happy to sell, and I think I can replace. But I'm constantly on the lookout, but it does just get harder and harder to, I've talked about like kind of reverse FOMO. FOMO used to be like, oh, I want to buy this Luke because they're going to double. And these days I'm like, I don't want to like, those Marvel cards from earlier. It's like, I don't really want to pay $300 for them. Not because they're not worth it, but what's going to float down the river next week? You know what I mean? Like like I have like my FOMO is I fear that I'm going to spend my money this week on something and something better will be there next week. And in all honesty, it has been true, is that, yeah, next week there is something true. Like those Rebels cards I bought, you don't see them for sale. Like these Rebel purple ones, like they're not for sale. My friend Sean had bought PSA 9s of, I think a PSA 10 of one of these and PSA 9 of the other, and they were expensive. And I got these in, and I expect them to get, somewhere between 9s and 10s. But it's not just that they were cheap. It's like you can't find these cards. So if I go buy like that lot, like I really, really out of that lot, I didn't even want that many of the cards. There were like maybe 2 or 3 of these cards I wanted. But like I bought this 2 tubes out of 50. It's a nice card. I don't fucking need it. Like I just bought it because I sold a bunch of cards and was like, I need to buy something. And yeah, I mean that's like there's just, I wish there was more to talk about. There's no new product. There's no big auctions. Someone brought my Vice Admiral Holdo Gold Finest from COMC a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I mean you just never know what people are going to buy. I mean, a lot of cards that I've sold are just cards that been sitting on eBay forever, and suddenly, somebody makes an offer. I'm like, oh, cool. That's part of the reason why I started listing cards that I don't want to say don't want to sell. I listed a gold Krennic, like one of these, but Krennic gold PSA 10. It's the Omega 50 out of 50, and I listed it for $7,000. And the next day I got a message, and somebody's like, "Hey, did you make a mistake in how much you're asking for this card?" And I'm like, "Nope." I'm like, "Absolutely not." I'm like, if you can find another one of these, and it sells, maybe I'll lower the price. Right? Like I said, I'm doing that. Like I know I have like a Tony Soprano PSA 10. And I know some people that graded a bunch of them and no 10s came out. So I think I had mine listed at $699, and I was willing to take like $549 instead of a 1 to that price, because you can't get them. They're none listed. I don't know. In the same respect, I would not pay that for these cards because I think they are replaceable. Or, I bet you there's somebody who has a Krennic. You're never going to get another Omega 50 out of 50 and have it be a PSA 10. It's very pleasing on your soul to have 505010. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like there's like I can sit here and argue about Star Wars, and Star Wars is heading in the right direction or wrong direction. Marvel's heading in the right direction or wrong direction. I don't know. I do wish we had more non-sports cars that came out when movies came out, and we don't. We have to wait, an infinite period of time uh, to see that. And yeah, I don't know. I just think the biggest danger to the hobby is people really just going back to what they were doing before the pandemic and just getting back out and living their lives and not, and spending their money on other things. And I don't know. You guys have heard all from the marketplace, but I would say just don't overreact to anything. Just there are no more crazes. There are no more frenzies. Anything you want to make a play on is long term. And I don't even think there's anything. Like I bought Jon Snow auto a few months ago that I thought was a great deal. It was the lowest you'd seen forever. And like a month later or a few weeks later, my buddy bought one cheaper than that and graded. And the price is, and I still think it's a great card, but it's just sitting in a drawer in the other room. So I don't know. I keep saying I don't know because I'm replacing it with, boy, I think this sucks. Right? The hobby's fucking boring right now. The content has disappeared. The fun people have mostly disappeared. You watched everything, and people are just regurgitating the shit, and like there's just not a lot. What are we gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about new rookie class again, and all this shit. Whatever. We need an overhaul from the root to the fruit. I'll tell you another thing before I leave, which is, when you sign up for PSA, I got a free $60 at Fanatics Live. I can't figure out how to spend that money. What a shithole that is. Like I like to make fun of Whatnot. I call it Dave and Buster's, but at least it's fun. Like, I don't know, like it's like fucking Fanatics Live. It's like an off-brand Czechoslovakian Whatnot. Oh my God, is that a shithole? Holy fuck. The people are just not fun. Like on Whatnot, you have to be an entertainer. Like you're paying for the part of the show, right? Like that's why I call it Dave and Buster's. Like you're not paying to go to Dave and Buster's for the prize you get with your tickets. You're going there because you're having a good time. That's what Whatnot is. Fanatics Live is just it's like a fucking shitty card shop where the owner is just whatever. I hate that thing. I hate that thing. I really do. Because on there, it's like somebody selling Star Wars. They're like, oh, I'm also selling Pokemon. I'm selling Prism Football. They're just card shops that'll rip anything they want. They don't know what the fuck they're ripping. They're not doing anything fun. I despise it. I think it's garbage. I think it is just like, what is going on with the hobby? So, and these are the first years, which are supposed to be the best. Oh, Fanatics. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think Fanatics has a plan for non-sports. I don't think they have a good plan for sports. They bought at the Pico top of sports cards, right? Like there's just, you can roll Tom Brady out as much as you want. It gets boring. Trust me. Like, I remember just seeing Pete Rose wandering around malls in Vegas. Like it was cool the first time he would sign stuff and I got meet him, but like elbow up to him in the food cart, be like, dude, I was ahead of you, right? Like at some point, just all wears off. And I think that's what's going to happen with Fanatics because I think that like, they do not know how to deal with non-sports cars for sure, right? You've got to get out ahead of. It's got to be a promotional product that coincides with the release of IP and not the other way around. It's just my 2 cents on that shit. But yeah, I mean, you're talking about they go public. I just want to know what's good about the hobby, right? Like that's why, and I don't want to be this asshole, right? Like I'm not. That's why I pivoted in this because I kept saying I don't know, and I do know. I know that it sucks, right? And that you you buy, there are people who buy and don't sell. I don't even know if that really is a thing, but like, I don't know how many cards can you have? Like, I'm not that like I just keep looking at it like, like I bought this Bistan because I was mad. I was mad, right? Like I was mad I don't need this Bistan. Like I'm gonna probably give this away. Like the Bodhi, I'll see if I get a 10 on my other Bodhi, I'll grade this one. Bodhi, I like more. Bistan, I don't fucking understand. It's like in the movie for 2 minutes. But again, character card, $13. You never know where Bistan is going to show up. But I bought because I was pissed off, not because I wanted the card. I wanted this Pitfall, right? $37, $40 shipped. I paid $27.99 for this game in 1982. So, right? Like if I have to collect something, I'll build a shelf for these for the movies because it's just something new and different to look at. Doesn't mean I don't like cards, and I'm not stopping collecting cards, but I mean I bought these. I bought these. I love these Rebel cards, but I bought them actually because I didn't know my buddy had. I forgot he had bought these, and I was afraid somebody else was going to buy them, and I knew they were cheap, so I just bought them and was like, all right, I'm not going to lose money on them. I don't fucking care about these cards. I'm going to grade them. I'm going to sell them. There's so few cards I care about that that's what disturbs me. And I know I'm not the only one. I know there's a lot of people out there that just think it, but they don't want to say it, right? Like one's enough. And, collecting is, a form of hoarding, and you can only cherish so much stuff. Only so much can be personal to you. Like we'll see if Will gets a 9 on that Cassian Gold and it's a 924, man, I'm going to make him an offer because I don't know he has a very nice collection. So I don't know exactly what I could offer him, but yeah, that would mean a shit ton to me. It means so much more than so many other cards. So yeah, it's a thought. I do like, again, I like finding stuff like the Luke and the Kylo to collect, which is fun, but like it's before anything that's pre-boom is stuff that I'm interested in because it just doesn't show up. And I was collecting some Andor 2023 Finest. I got a bunch of golds and whatever. Those are going up for sale. I'll grade them and sell them. I just don't care. Like I just don't care. I bought this Lando. I talked myself into. I bought some other Landos. Whatever, just whatever. Like they just don't mean anything to me. Like, they don't. And that's cool because truthfully, not everything can mean something to you, right? Like you only have a finite amount of caring, fucks to give. And the more stuff you have that you try to invest in, the less fucks you're going to give about certain things. And, the law of diminishing returns for those who study economics. We shall see. Everything ebbs and flows. I think when the sun is shining outside, like everybody else, I want to be outside. I want to do things. I want to be amongst people. And when it gets cold and I want to come back inside and whatever, and there's new TV, I'll care more. But I try not to come on here and just tell you guys the negative stuff. To be positive is that there are cards that probably you want or wanted that you couldn't get that are starting to show up. And if you're on the ball and, you might be able to get a deal and you might be able to put pieces into your collection that you really like and that you want, and then figure out what to do with the other stuff. Maybe you just don't care about it sitting in a box. I know there's a lot of stuff I don't care about sitting in a box. But when I buy something immediately and know it's going to sit in a box, that's the thing that's harder. And I know Pitfall is not going to sit in a box. I know that Goonies copy is not going to sit. This is going right in a fucking box. Everything else right in a box. I bought this. I know it was only $3 right in a box. This right in a box. Whatever. So, all right, I'm going to go watch the basketball game. I'm glad I got a chance to come on and say hello to everybody. Wish you a happy Memorial Day. I hope you're all doing well. And again, before I sign off, enjoy the hobby, right? Don't let my bullshit determine like how you're going to enjoy the hobby. You want to grade a base card that ain't going to be worth a penny, go right ahead. You know what I mean? If you want to, collect TCG, or you want to, whatever, man. I only know that my goal in this stuff is to collect that brings me pleasure. And don't let anybody tell you what brings you pleasure. If it's legal and it brings you pleasure, fucking do it. Let's do it. Let's play the music and get the fuck out of here. Here we go.
Welcome to Not Sports Cards. World's
Greatest.
non-sports
Always great to see you guys and talk to you.
creator.
Latest Spider-Man,
Harry
Carter.
Potter, Darth Vader.
And I'll try to come back more often. I will. It's just the way it goes. I really do enjoy this.
Not sports cards is the best.
Sometimes.
Not sports cards is the worst.
Definitely true too. I'll die on that hill.
World's greatest non-sports content creator. Luke plays Spider-Man, Harry Potter, Darth Vader. Now, big boy start.
Well, we're gonna end the show.
Play and away we go.
All right. I'm also gonna add. I lost 65 pounds in the last year, and when I look at myself, I enjoy it. I enjoy the fact that that's happened, and it makes me angry that I don't. It makes me more ornery is the way to do it. To say is that I just don't eat all the food that I want that makes me joyful. So maybe when I start getting fat, dumb, and happy, I'll come on and tell you guys how wonderful the hobby is. Till then, I'm Not Sports Cards, and I am